Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new video. Today, we are talking about Transformers Last Night, and believe me, I saw this thing in IMAX, and it was great, okay? Don't be concerned about what happened to my face right here, I don't know what happened, okay? But anyway, this movie was great, okay? You know, we started off from a war back in the old days. It was with swords and stuff. The British were riding horses. They were fighting what I believe was barbarians, and then and then the British were losing bad, and they called for Merlin the Wizard, and he got the staff from like a knight in one of the very first Transformers. He got that staff, and it helped him win. And then he created a dragon, which I don't know if it was Predaking. I don't know, but it was three-headed, and it completely destroyed everybody. Then we cut to a scene where Optimus Prime is just floating through space, and he has this bad audio quality of saying, "Hi, I'm Optimus Prime, and I'm looking for my creator." And he finds his creator. He finally gets to Cybertron, and he tries to kill his creator at first, but then his creator turns him. And if you wonder how his face becomes half red and half blue, like if you've seen the previews, it's because his creator touches the side of his head, and then it turns red. That's the dumb reason for him being half red, half blue. Now there's a part in this movie where you realize that his name is Nemesis Prime, because he calls himself Nemesis Prime. Now, this might have made a lot of fans mad, fans of like the original TV show or comics or whatever, because Nemesis Prime was always a clone of Optimus. Well, Optimus called himself Nemesis Prime, and I mean that was a little bit later in the movie, but he still did. Don't get me wrong. But yeah. There's that. So Cade, which is the main character, Mark Wahlberg is playing. He saves this like 14-year-old girl, which her Transformer friend just died, and basically she lived in an abandoned site, which humans weren't allowed to be in. And they killed her friend, and then Cade came in, saved her randomly, along with Bumblebee, and there might have been one other Autobot that came. I forget. Now, of course, I don't remember the big green guy's name, and I don't remember the creator's name, so you just gotta bear with me for a few things here. I mean, also the fact that Hot Rod's in this movie. Hot Rod has never been in a Transformers movie yet, for who knows why, but he's in it. That's great. Okay, and this man, he shows up in style. He starts off with some old type of British car, but no. Then he expands from that, and you know what he becomes? He becomes a Lamborghini, black, orange Lamborghini. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? But here's another thing we gotta talk about. There's this staff, and there's also this amulet. One of the very old knights gave Cade an amulet, and it definitely helped him in the end of the movie, which we're not at yet. We're not talking about that part yet. But yeah. Also in this movie they gave away free t-shirts because, you know, IMAX, I'm not wearing it right now, but I might try to show it to you at the end of the video. It's pretty cool. This movie was just awesome. The action, the sequences, and all that, and the main story with all the humans wasn't boring like some of the other ones. Like before, I thought Dark of the Moon was the best, but you know, this one definitely topped that. My hair's a wreck. Jeez. Anyway, back to the actual movie. So, of course, the government wanted to destroy all alien life forms, like the Autobots, Decepticons, basically all Transformers. So they tried that, but they put a tracker on Bumblebee, and then, well, Cade was in this junkyard, and he was trying to hide away, and the only way he could communicate with his daughter is if she called him, and she could only, like, and he couldn't talk on the phone, because then they would recognize his voice, like government would. And she could only talk to him for like a minute, and he couldn't say anything back. So there's that. And then there's a tracker put on Bumblebee when he was going away, because the army showed up at that abandoned place, and they threw a tracker on Bumblebee. So then it was found. Yeah. Also, I might want to add that there are tiny Dinobots running around now. That's nice, I guess. Like, okay, cool, you got a tiny Dinobot here, tiny Dinobot there. That's really cool. So Optimus finally comes to Earth because, well, there's this underwater base, okay, and that's when Optimus finally comes back to Earth. But that's not the part we're focusing on. Cybertron is closely gravitating towards Earth. That's gonna collide with it. We all know that that's gonna happen, and there's just a limited number of days. The scientists talking about one that's not even ever being listened to for literally the whole movie. Like, they have the scientist guy, but they refuse to listen to him. You know, a lot of the stuff he says could potentially be useful in some sort of fashion, but apparently they don't really care about that, so there's that. But let's just think about the big picture here, okay? Cade went to England, he met this one girl, and this girl, I forget her name, I'll look in a second. Well, and Hot Rod is her protector. Hot Rod, I don't know who voiced Hot Rod, but I think it was a bad decision, because it just doesn't work for me. It's like some French guy or something. But I don't like the voice acting for Hot Rod. That's just my opinion. Okay, I think her name's Viviane or something along those lines. It's spelled Vivane. But apparently that she is supposed to control the staff which Merlin had back in the really old part that they showed at the beginning of the movie. And Merlin's supposed to have this thing. So there's an old guy which is control this palace, and he knows all about this prophecy and whatnot. And he has all this different stuff from all the different people that the Transformers looked up to or fought with. And there's a very, very funny part where they showed Sam Witwicky, who that was his last name, which is of course who Shia LaBeouf played in the first 3 movies. And they showed him, which was very funny. There's a lot of cool stuff that they showed during the movie that was really nice. Yeah, because, you know, there's a lot of Easter eggs. I had the Easter egg of Megatron holding Starscream's head, which I thought was pretty cool. He's like, and he said, I wish I could have still been. I wish you could have been here to see this old friend. Which, I mean, was pretty amazing. Like, Starscream shouldn't have died yet. It was too early. However, I don't like how Starscream even looked anyway. He didn't look like Starscream. But this Vivian, or whatever her name is, and Cade went with this old guy, and they saw, again, a bunch of artifacts and stuff. So then she realized that she had to look for the staff, since she apparently read the clues and was in her house. She's the one who could find it anyway. Well, it wasn't in her house, but the way to find it was. And she had this whole, because her father was the person who wielded it before her. There's a lot of people. There's a whole family book of people related to her. So, yep, and she was a relative of Merlin, which was interesting. Yeah. Tore up that room that her father studied in so much to find the clue that's in this underground spaceship, which I talked about earlier. The army guys, I forgot what they called themselves. They were trying to get it first, but they didn't, obviously. And, yeah. Optimus actually got it when he was Nemesis Prime. And, because that happened, and then, yeah. He almost killed Bumblebee. I just have to add that. He almost did. I mean, it was a close call. I mean, this man, my man Bumblebee, almost died. And also, I just want to add that Bumblebee got his voice back. Yes, Bumblebee's voice is back. That's amazing. You know, and Optimus said it himself. And the only reason Optimus wasn't evil anymore because he realized, because Bumblebee was speaking to him, and Optimus said he remembered him and stuff. And he stopped being evil. That's how that happened. What I don't like is what Optimus said. Because in the first movie, Bumblebee talked, and then they trashed that for some reason. And I think it's a different actor speaking as Bumblebee this time. They trashed that idea. And that made me mad. They said basically he never talked before, and I thought that to be stupid. Because he did. So now Bumblebee's talking. There's also one brief scene where Bumblebee had Siri's voice because they found a voice box. That was funny. That was like a minute scene of him just screaming because the voice was so terrible. And then he just grabbed his throat and just tore it right out of him and crushed it, which was funny. That was back in the beginning of the movie, by the way. I forgot to mention that, so I did now. But yeah, and Optimus just, you know, was amazing. And then the army guys and Cade and Vivian, I believe that was his name. They're all combined forces. Also, that old guy was killed by Megatron. That's, yeah. I had to mention that. There was an old guy killed by Megatron. The really important one. Megatron looked so cool in this movie. He looked like a knight. He also had that half-red look, which I thought was interesting. Megatron died again. He died in every movie except last movie. He didn't die though. He got away. At least I'm pretty sure he did get away. It was Galvatron last movie. Galvatron was cool, but you know, he's just like, who cares? Who cares if I was Galvatron or not? Not Megatron again. Megatron looked pretty cool though. Like, if I saw the action figure of that, I might get it because he looked cool. He looked better than I thought he would look. Yeah. But just for the record, that movie was absolutely incredible. Yeah. They were on this big ship and they had to completely destroy it. The girl ripped the staff out of it and used it, and then that was just amazing. Megatron fell like all the way from the sky and hit the ground. I didn't show him hitting the ground though. And also, there is a part at the end in the credits where they said, hey, Unicron's coming. And yeah, so basically, there's going to be one more movie. It's going to be fighting Unicron. It's probably going to Megatron in it. Megatron's probably going to be a bird or something. I mean, we don't know. Megatron's been a tank. He's been a gas truck. I mean, who knows what he can be now. Okay. Megatron, he could wind up as Galvatron again. I wish he was Galvatron in this movie. He looked more... He didn't look much Megatron-like in this movie. Like, I thought that that'd be a much better Galvatron. If you don't know what he looked like, I'll try to post a picture right now of what he looks like. Because he did look pretty cool. All I gotta say is everybody lived. Like, literally no Autobot died in this movie. Well, the Knights died, but they weren't technically Autobots, so Transformers died, is what I should say. I mean, Megatron was thrown way out of the sky, so he died, but he's gonna come back. We know he is. What would be interesting is if he hit the ground so hard, he fell into the core. Now, this didn't happen. Okay, this didn't happen is what I'm saying right now. What would be interesting for the next movie is if he fell from the sky, hit the ground, and he went all the way to the core, and then he like, Unicron gave him power, and it's like a Transformers Prime where he was like beefed up and stuff. Then he calls himself Galvatron again. And yeah, he'd be super powerful. That'd be really cool. That also happened in G1. Except Unicron was a planet on his own. He wasn't Earth. But yeah, again, Earth is Unicron if you haven't figured that out now. And the creator of the Transformers is dead. I don't even know her name, so obviously she wasn't that important. She was actually. She was very important. She played a huge role in it. I've said all the stuff that I can possibly say about this movie. You know, thanks for watching. The next Transformers-like movie will be the Bumblebee movie. I don't know how that's gonna play out. I would assume it plays out on Cybertron. That'd be my guess. Or it could be just after this, and it's with Bumblebee and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. And guys, thanks for watching. I'm probably not gonna do very many reviews. I'm just gonna do the very, very good ones. I know Spider-Man Homecoming is coming out. I'm gonna see that, but it's debatable if I'm gonna actually do a movie review on it. So thanks for watching. Leave a like. I'm not doing much gaming anymore, which is why I'm doing this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. Okay, I forgot, but I did promise to show you guys the shirt. Ancestor special, it's like for the first 100 people. And it was special for the IMAX showing that I saw on Tuesday because that's when they had the IMAX one out. Here it is. It says IMAX on it. Has Optimus Prime. Has the date on it that I saw the movie. You know, it's a really cool shirt. Again, very great movie. Thanks for watching this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.